So, today we're going to talk about a really fundamental shift in how businesses get things done. We're moving away from the old world of static plans and dusty spreadsheets into a new reality where strategy is actually a living, breathing system. And it's all powered by AI. Let's get into it. Okay, so on the left, you see the world we all know, right? It's slow, it's manual. It creates these documents that, let's be honest, are basically obsolete the second they're finished. But look at the right. This is where we're headed. It's a continuous, closed-loop system where AI agents give us autonomy, and they merge business analysis and execution into this single, seamless flow of, well, living intelligence. The difference is absolutely night and day. And here it is. This is the blueprint for that new reality, the AIS Playbook. You know, it takes that classic business school sequence, strategy to problem to solution to execution, and it completely transforms it. It's no longer a straight line from A to B. It's now this dynamic, adaptive cycle. Think of this image as our roadmap for the next few minutes as we break down exactly how this whole thing works. So you might be asking, what's the engine that's actually driving this entire system? Well, it all starts with something called the AI agent stack. This is the core technology, the foundation, that makes all of this autonomous operation even possible. It really breaks down into three key layers. First, at the bottom, you've got the LLMs. That's the brain, right? The reasoning power. Then you layer on the AI agents. They provide the autonomy, the ability to actually go out and do things, to break down goals and execute tasks. And finally, on top, you have the control frameworks. These are the guardrails, the rules of the road. Think OKRs or scorecards that make sure the agents are always working towards the right strategic goals. All right, let's put this stack to work. We're going to start with the very first phase of the cycle, automated strategy. This is where the system starts to make sense of all the chaos out there in the world. The number one goal here is just to cut through all the noise. I mean, think about it. AI agents are built to handle this constant fire hose of data. Market trends, competitor news, customer reviews, internal metrics, and just distill it all down into clear, structured hypotheses about what the business should do next. And what's so cool about this is how it works in practice. We're using classic business techniques here, things like pestle or SWOT analysis, but the execution is completely revolutionary. An AI agent doesn't just do a SWOT analysis once a year. No way. It is continuously monitoring competitor data and customer sentiment to update it 24/7. It's always on. And this right here is the whole point. This is the big takeaway for this phase. Your strategy is no longer some static PowerPoint deck that gets presented once a quarter and then forgotten. It actually becomes a dynamic, living model of your business and its environment, and it's updated in real time. Okay, so now that you have a living strategy, the system can immediately spot when things go off track. And that brings us to phase two, problem diagnosis, where AI can pinpoint issues with some serious precision. A huge tool here is root cause analysis. You know how humans have a tendency to see a problem and just jump straight to a solution? Well, AI agents use what's called chain of thought reasoning. They methodically trace a symptom, say a dip in sales, all the way back through the data to find its true origin. This is so critical because it prevents one of the biggest errors in business, spending time and money solving the wrong problem. And it gets even more amazing. The system can actually simulate a six thinking hats workshop. It assigns a team of specialized agents different roles. You'll have one agent wearing the black hat, looking for all the risks. Another wears the green hat, focused on creative possibilities. What you get is this incredible 360-degree view of a problem, but without all the human ego and cognitive biases that can totally derail a meeting. All right, the root cause is confirmed. The problem is understood from all angles. So what's next? The system moves into phase three, finding the absolute best solution. And this is all about taking the guesswork out and making truly data-driven choices. The goal here is so simple, but it's incredibly powerful. Make every decision auditable and based on data. We're moving past the era of relying just on gut feeling or, the highest paid person's opinion. Now, every single potential path forward gets evaluated systematically. So how does it pull this off? Well, it uses those classic techniques again, just supercharged by AI. An agent can instantly create a decision matrix, for example, and score multiple solutions against the company's actual strategic goals. It can even run a force field analysis to predict which forces, cultural or otherwise, might help or hurt a solution's chance of success. Now we have the best solution. It's time to make it happen. This is where the rubber meets the road. Welcome to Phase 4, Adaptive Execution, where AI agents become these incredible autonomous project managers. This is where strategy and operations truly become one. The AI takes that high-level goal, it breaks it down into detailed subtasks, prioritizes everything, and assigns the work. But, and this is the crucial part, it monitors progress in real time. If there's a delay or an obstacle, it automatically adjusts the plan on the fly. So the bottom line is this. The project plan is no longer some rigid Gantt chart that's out of date the minute it's made. Execution becomes this flexible, adaptive process that responds to what's actually happening, not what you planned for 3 months ago. Whew. Okay, so we've just walked through that entire cycle. Let's take a step back now and look at the big picture. What is the real payoff here? What's the massive advantage of connecting all these pieces into one closed-loop system? This slide just brings it all home. The old way was linear. Analysis was over here, execution was over there, and they were basically in two different worlds. By the time you acted, the analysis was stale. But this new cyclical framework forces them to converge. Analysis is constantly feeding execution, and the results from execution are constantly feeding right back into the strategy. Your strategy literally becomes your operational intelligence. And I know what you might be thinking. What about the people? Does this make humans obsolete? And the answer is absolutely not. In fact, it elevates our role. Instead of us being buried in spreadsheets and doing manual analysis, our job shifts to what we humans do best: setting the high-level vision, making the tough calls on big trade-offs, navigating those tricky ethical gray areas, and managing the complex art of human relationships. So, I'll just leave you with this final thought. Imagine a world where that lag between getting an insight and actually doing something about it just disappears, where your strategy and your execution are a single continuous loop. What becomes possible then? What could your organization truly achieve?